Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer System Commission meeting to order today, Thursday, February the 5th, 2025 at 6:02. May I have an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and second that we approve the agenda. Any questions? You prepared to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Let the record show 5-0. Approval of minutes, regular meeting December the 18th, 2025. May I get a motion on? Second. Can I get a second? Second. Get a motion and second. Any questions? Prepared to vote? All in favor? Let the record show 5-0. Now we're down to public hearing. We'd like to turn that over to Mr. Gregory Sprouse.
Is that one? Well, I can speak loud. There's not a lot of people here. So I'm Gregory Sprouse with Central Midlands Council of Governments, and we're going to hold this public hearing as a part of the commission meeting regarding the 208 Water Quality Plan amendment process, which is required for as a part of the overall permitting process that the joint system has to go through for the creation of the wastewater treatment plant. And so to start off, I'll tell you a little bit, for those of you that are not familiar, Central Midlands Council of Governments is a regional planning agency that serves the 4-county area around Columbia. So we work in Richland, Lexington, Newberry, and Fairfield counties. And we're one of 10 regional planning agencies across the state that were set up in the 1960s to really serve as a liaison to help with implementing new federal legislation such as the Clean Water Act at the local level. And so we do everything from transportation planning to environmental planning to providing social services under the Older Americans Act. So again, we are that liaison between federal and state regulations and the local governments that make up the board of directors for our agency. And so one of the things that we do as a regional planning agency is help implement Section 208 of the Clean Water Act. And under Section 208 of the Clean Water Act, it was set up, a lot of people, when you think about the passage of the Clean Water Act, people think about industrial pollution, that was one of the big things that was done was to try to address like the Cuyahoga River catching on fire and trying to help clean the nation's waterways as a result of industrial pollution. But a lot of people don't realize that one of the biggest sources of water quality pollution at the time was from the lack of centralized sewer infrastructure. So back when the Clean Water Act was first passed, the Columbia metro area had a very limited sewer infrastructure, and a lot of the old newspaper accounts of the planning at the time indicate that a lot of raw sewage was just going directly into the Congaree River. And so one of the Section 201 and 208 of the Clean Water Act did two things. It made federal funding available to help local governments build centralized sewer infrastructure, but it didn't want to just give the money out there to the local governments. It wanted to ensure that there was going to be regional planning and coordination. So Section 201 provided the funding for the infrastructure improvements to build sewer systems, and Section 208 was the regional planning aspect of it that required local governments to work together to make sure that we're coordinating on developing that infrastructure. So the federal funding portion under Section 201 doesn't exist to the same extent that it used to, but the regional planning requirements still do. So under Section 208 in the state of South Carolina, anytime a DES, the Department of Environmental Services, issues a construction permit for sewer infrastructure, it has to be determined to be in conformance with a regional water quality management plan. So our agency is the planning agency that's been designated to oversee that. So we have a water quality management plan that outlines the long-term sewer planning for the 4-county area. And anytime there is a major change required to that plan, such as the addition of a new wastewater treatment plant or discharge into the water bodies of our region, we have to amend that plan. And so with the joint system being established to create a new wastewater treatment plant to serve Fairfield County, we have to go through a process of amending that 208 plan. So the way that the process is set up is our agency has a board of directors, and we also have technical committees that provide recommendations to our board of directors on various business that we take up, including amending the 208 plan. So what has to happen through this process is the joint system creates a plan amendment request or proposal that comes to our agency and first goes to the technical committee, which we call our Environmental Planning Advisory Committee, and they make a recommendation to the full COG board on whether or not to approve that plan amendment. So there's two aspects to this plan amendment for the joint system that are required. One is we have to recognize in our plan the Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer System as a designated sewer management area. So it is really just establishing them as a body recognized in the plan to provide sewer service, and it creates a defined geographic service area for them to provide that service. So the first plan amendment that we will be considering is related to designating the joint system as being recognized in the plan, and a map amendment that shows the area that they will have authority to provide service under our plan. And then the treatment plant itself, if anytime there's a new discharge or a new plant that has a design flow of 1 million gallons a day or greater, triggers a plan amendment. So we have to amend the plan to recognize the engineering plans for that facility over the long term. So that's what we're here today and want to get public input on, is the proposals that the joint system are putting forward to become a designated management agency under our plan, and to establish this new wastewater treatment plant to serve Fairfield County. And so the comments that we hear today from the public, so we're treating this like a public hearing, so I think we've asking everybody to keep their comments to 3 minutes. We would like to hear what you have to say. That will go into the record that we will take to our committee as a part of the joint systems request for a plan amendment, and that will go into the consideration of that amendment request as it moves forward in our process. So with that, I want to give the engineers for the project an opportunity to say a little bit more about both of those requests, the management agency and the wastewater treatment plant, and then we'll open it up for public comment.
Sorry, I'll cover them. So my name is Daniel Mosier. I'm an engineer with Goodwin Mills K. Wood. So we're the engineers helping Fairfield Joint with this project. So like Gregory said, I'm going to go through kind of high level what this plan amendment entails, and I'll kind of summarize a little bit about what Gregory just mentioned on the purpose of this. So like you mentioned, there's the Clean Water Act, established a 208 plan, and it's really meant to coordinate wastewater infrastructure across the region so that it's planned effectively long-term. And so we're meeting here to receive public comments and establish, anytime there's major amendments, like you mentioned, this public hearing is required. So comments may be received for up to 7 days after this meeting is held, and we'll give you all the information for how to provide those in writing as well. So like Gregory mentioned, the reasoning is the establishment of a new wastewater plant and new DMA, which I'll discuss in a minute. And really, the whole purpose of this is the additional growth in the southern region of Fairfield County and how we're going to create infrastructure to serve that growth long term. So I'm going to discuss the specifics of what Gregory mentioned on what the plan amendment changes are. So there's really three major categories here. One is a modification to the DMA, so the service area. The other one is the establishment of a wastewater treatment plant. And the last one, which Gregory didn't mention, but is a little more specific, which is there is allocation of UOD and phosphorus limits that need to be discussed for potential reallocation from existing dischargers. So this map really provides an overview of the DMA, the wastewater plant, and the discharge. So I'll go over each item. So sorry about that. The light green area is the existing Fairfield County DMA. The central area in beige is the existing town of Winsboro DMA. And then to the east, the southeast, you'll see the existing Ridgeway. And then to the northeast, the existing MRWD DMA. So the modification here is the town of Winsboro, Ridgeway, and Fairfield County have coordinated together to create a new DMA for this Fairfield joint system. So that's that dashed blue line, and you see that takes portions of the existing Fairfield County DMA and the existing town of Winsboro DMA to create this new Fairfield joint water and sewer system DMA to the southwest. And then that red star to the southwest there is where the treatment plant is proposed. And then you see a red dot along the Broad River. That's where the effluent is to be discharged into the Broad River. So Amy is going to discuss the procedures, what we've done so far, and then what are the next steps for this 208 plan amendment.
Yes. So my name is Amy Hopkins. I'm also with Goodwin Mills Kaywood, the engineering firm for this project. So we just wanted to take you through the history of Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer System. So this is going to go through from 2019 up until present day, the activities that we have taken. So in 2019, Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer was established for the primary purpose of constructing a wastewater treatment plant in the county. Between 2019 and 2022, there was a Dominion settlement and SCIP grant awarded. So that was a $10 million SCIP grant. Activities are currently ongoing for upgrades to pump stations and a new pump station. In May of 2024, there was a preliminary engineering report that was completed. So that is a requirement for DES and the COG to submit that PER. In June of 2025, GMC started meeting with the COG to discuss next steps for these 208 amendments. In August, we received the updated DES model, so that impacts the UOD only, and it incorporated both Fairfield Joint Water and Sewer System, considering a 4 MGD facility, and Calhoun County's facility as well. In October of 2025, we had some follow-up meetings with the COG, and then through the fall, we decided to meet with some of the major dischargers to discuss the impacts of this facility and the reallocation process. And then in January, on the 21st of this year, we had the EPAC meeting, so we provided this proposal, the 208 amendments that we already discussed, to all the dischargers. Again, that was for information only, so we'll talk about next steps since that meeting. So next steps, we still have to take this back to the EPAC. So the EPAC is the Environmental Planning Advisory Committee. That is a committee that's a part of the COG. So it will have to go back to the EPAC for information again and then for a vote. And then it'll go to the COG for approval. Again, those two amendments are the DMA, so the Designated Management Agency, that map that Daniel already shared, and then the wastewater treatment facility and the reallocation of UOD and total phosphorus. From there, we'll be able to work on the NPDES permit. Once the design is complete, we will work on that process with DES. We'll work on environmental and engineering reviews, and then we'll have additional public notices and comment as well. So again, comments are welcome tonight. There is a 3-minute limit for any comment, and then we'll also accept comments in writing. So we have Greg Sprouse's email up there if you want to send any comments in writing. And again, these will be received and considered as a part of the 208 amendment plan. So as we finalize all this documentation, we'll have a comment response matrix. Anything else that I missed?
Thank you.
All right, so we'll open it up for public comment.
We have a list, Ms. Davis.
We have one who wishes to speak, Mr. Thomas Mann.
Good evening. I'm Thomas Mann, and I'm got a few comments or questions that I know I won't get answers to tonight because that's not the purpose of the meeting. But I'm a lifelong resident, born and raised in Fairfield County. I'm from the area where the proposed new sewer plant and the lines, force main, are going to be constructed if this plan is the one that goes forward. And I've got a couple of questions as a result of that. Number one, I know several years back there was an effort, and I didn't live here at the time, to build a plant. The land was procured in Cedar Creek area. And I understand we still own that piece of property, we being Fairfield County, but that has fallen out of favor, and now we're looking at putting it in Rich Tech's brick area. I can't quite understand that logic because the one at Cedar Creek would be much more central to the area that is primarily going to be served, which is the I-77 corridor. I've also got to think that the one at Rich Tech is going to be significantly more expensive. I'd like to know what the estimate is on that, but I haven't been able to get that yet. But again, why not Cedar Creek? Since we already own that property, I'm sure there was engineering work done on that. My next question is, there's a commission. I've received a letter. I've seen it headlighted up here tonight. Is this going to be handled as an enterprise fund, or is this going to be something that's a dole on the taxpayer? If it's a taxpayer dole, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the law has changed on this. You're going to have a referendum of the voters in this county to approve this kind of expenditure. I know you got some seed money from the Dominion settlement, but it ain't going to be near enough, I don't think. I've done a little research. Depending on the size of this plant to be constructed, you could easily be looking at $100 million for that alone, not counting the force main. My last reason for being here is I'm a landowner on 2 roads that this force main is going to be constructed on. One of those areas has a very limited right-of-way. That's Highway 269. The second one is Browns Bridge Road, and there's a small sliver of that road that has right-of-way. My property and most of the rest of it has no right-of-way. And I'm not real happy that people have already been on my property surveying because you got no right to step out of that road. There's reference made to 33 feet from center line. You don't have it. And I'm not going to gratuitously grant it to you. Thank you.
All right. As we move on to our regular minutes on the agenda, let me make the public aware that you cannot ask any questions moving forward. If you have any questions, please speak to someone after the meeting, and we'll get you an answer as soon as possible. Now we're down to item 5, which is the update of the Winsboro Connector project.
I'm with American Engineering Consultants. I'm the engineer for the force main for what's called the Winsboro projector or connector project. This project itself has 4 divisions. Division 1, which is the pump station located at what's called Commerce Pump Station, which is an existing station that is being upgraded. We also have what's called the Regional Pump Station, which basically is going to receive pretty much all the flow from the area that will ultimately be then directed toward the wastewater treatment plant. Division 1 itself have 2 portions, as I mentioned before, the commerce and the regional. The regional pump station, all the work for the wet well, all the concrete wall work has been done. All the very manifold that includes 16 and 24-inch pipes has been installed as well. We've been lucky enough, on one hand, that we are finally getting the equipment that nowadays is really just about impossible to get equipment. The lead time for a lot of the equipment was 10, 12, 15 months. Nonetheless, the equipment for the regional pump station has been delivered, is being stored off-site due to what we might call vandalism, afraid that the equipment may be damaged, being on-site. When it comes to the commerce pump station, also most of the equipment has been delivered, and work on the commerce pump station will start next week. You're going to see a lot of more progress now that we have received equipment, or the general contractor has received equipment. Then we got the Division 2. Division 2, the general contractor is G.H. Smith. This division have 3 different sections. One is the Walter Brown force main, which is going to basically redirect the flow from the Walter Brown industrial park toward the commerce pump station, which in turn the commerce will be pumping to the regional pump station. The line, that force main has been completed. It's 100% on the ground, and it has been tested, and it passed. The other section is a little portion of force main, a 12-inch line that connects basically the main 24-inch force main going from commerce to regional. There is a little section there that is a 12-inch line that will connect to the commerce pump station that is also installed in place. The 24-inch line, which connects commerce with regional, it is only 1,000 feet short to being finished. That might not mean a whole bunch for you all guys, but basically it is 94% of the line completed. We literally are 1,000 feet away from the regional pump station in order to connect to the pump station. Division 3, it is the force main from the regional pump station to halfway up to the Winsboro wastewater treatment plant. Also includes a 10-inch water line. The 10-inch has been installed, is in place. The 16-inch line that goes from that regional pump stations up to the Winsboro on this line, on this section of the line. The general contractor, by the way, I meant to mention that is Williams Infrastructure. He's from City of Columbia, that area. And that is, like I said, the 10-inch line completed, and the 16-inch portion of the line is 88%. Division 4, and the last one of the division, is also by Williams Infrastructure. This section there is only 20% completed. I did got in touch with the general contractor. I mean, of course, we keep communication all the time, but I did call him this morning and basically said, listen, I got a meeting. I'm getting myself a little, worried about things. He literally promised me not to worry about it or tell me not to worry about it. He will have three crew groups working on this section of the line starting in 2 weeks. Basically, it's the same contractor. So if you think about it, a lot of the crews that he's using for Division 3 are tied up, but nonetheless, he can continue with the work, and that's when he will have 3 crews working. That without mention the subcontractor, who is Blake Brickman, to do the horizontal directional drill that will connect the pipe under the creek right prior to the wastewater treatment plant. That is scheduled to happen toward the end of this month. They will be mobilizing and doing that work. And I'm sorry I didn't come any more prepared, guys. First time that I've been told to assist. I didn't know what to expect. But by any means, please, if you all need something else on the next meeting, I'll be more than glad to provide it. If you all have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer.
Any questions from the committee? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Now we get an update for the wastewater treatment plant project.
Can we share this on the screen? Okay. So this is our online dashboard that we have for the update on the wastewater treatment facility. So it just goes through the importance of the project. And then here is the timeline that we already talked about previously, but we just wanted to talk through next steps. So we're here at the public meeting. This is February 5th. From there, we will have the next EPAC board meeting on March 19th. That will be for information only. So we'll present in that meeting as well, just to get some more feedback and provide responses to the questions that we've already received. We expect to have information go out that will receive questions until February 13th. So that'll kind of draw a line in the sand for that meeting of questions that we need to respond to. After that, the EPAC board will meet in April. So April 15th, we will request a vote for approval of both of these amendments. Again, the DMA, which is the map, and then the wastewater treatment facility and the reallocation. And then from there, it'll move on to the COG meeting. So that is April 23rd, where the COG will vote. All right, here's our project status. So we did have some site visits with some of the council members in January. We took them around to 5 treatment facilities to show them some different technology that's available. Obviously, the oxidation ditch is what is in the PER currently, but we wanted to walk through some other treatment facilities. For example, we took them to an MBR and an SBR just to see other types of treatment. And then this just goes through the EPAC and CMCOG approval that we'll need to receive. For the due diligence on the wastewater treatment facility, we have completed the environmental survey, the survey, and the geotechnical investigation. For the force main, we are about halfway through the survey, the environmental survey, that is. We're about 75% on the survey, and then geotechnical, we still need to determine the alignment before we mobilize them. All right, and then this just goes through the design schedule. So those plant tours are complete, and then we'll move towards 30/60/90 design. And then this just shows the project map that we spoke about previously. All right. Any questions? It is, it's not searchable, but if you share the link with someone, they can access it.
Okay, so it's on the county's website, or?
Yes, it's on the administration page, but I'm about to move it to a project management page.
So on the county's website, the administration page, people can go and find the link to this dashboard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go.
Didn't we have a recent EPAC committee meeting, I think in the last 2 or 3 weeks? What was their take on that at that meeting?
Yes, January 21st, we had the EPAC meeting. There was a lot of good feedback that we received from the dischargers. Specifically, City of Casey was very concerned about UOD and total phosphorus reallocation. So we really want to sit down again with some of those dischargers and talk about their pain points before we present, because we got a lot of feedback.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, we're down to executive session. Item A is receipt of legal advice subject to attorney-client privilege reamendment to the 208 plan. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Mr. Chairman, just quickly, I think we also want to discuss a potential claim against the joint system in connection with the Winsboro Connector project.
So moved.
Second. It's been motioned and second. Any questions? Are you prepared to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show 6-0. Now, we're now in executive session. May I get a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
If the motion is seconded, we come out of executive session. Prepare to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposing? Let the record show 6-0. Is there another motion? First, for the record, let me state that there was no action taken while we were in executive session. Now, is there a motion?
Second.
Okay, this motion is seconded. We adjourn. Prepare to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The record show 6-0. We're now adjourned.